I don't care who's doing better than me. I'm not in competition with anyone else. The only rival I have is the person I was yesterday. Last year, I was different. I've grown, I've learned, I've improved, and that's what truly matters. It's me versus me. Every day, I wake up ready to push myself further. I challenge my limits, striving to be the best version of myself. I won't let someone else's success make me feel small.
At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights.
I put belt to ass, and you can see that's what I do.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so another really interesting subject to talk about coming out of the featherweight division. You know, 2024 was the year of the featherweight division. 2025 is going to be an even bigger year for this featherweight division. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Now, I still think one of the best featherweights in the world, one of the most dangerous featherweights in the world. One of the wild cards, the true wild cards of this weight class that I think at his best on any given night can beat anybody in this division is back in action. It's been about a year, and he'll be back in action on April the 5th. So we're talking about a 13-month layoff. It's the return of Bruce Lee, Otabek Kholmatov, the former the WBA world title challenger. You know, fresh off of his heartbreaking knockout TKO loss to Raymond Ford, where he was up on the cards. He blew out his knee. Ford rushed him. Referee waved it off. You know, it was named 2024 Ring Magazine Fight of the Year. So he's trying to get his career back on track. You know, this is a fighter in Kholmatov who, you know, he still, despite not fighting for 13 months, he still maintains a very high place in this division. Right now, he's your number 3 WBA contender, and he's not ranked anywhere else. So he's still right. He's right there. This could be a future Bruce Carrington opponent, a Nick Ball opponent, and you know, very hard guy to deal with, right? So that being said, and with that firmly being established on True School Sports, let's talk about it. So Kholmatov is coming back April the 5th, and he's taking on a fighter from the Philippines by the name of Jason Canoe Manigos, right? 30 wins, 12 losses, 2 draws, 20 knockout victories, 1 knockout loss. So very, very durable guy. He's proven to be a very durable guy over the course of his 280 rounds in boxing. He's only been stopped 1 time in 43 pro fights. So look, and the 1 time he got stopped, it was to Louis Neri in 3 rounds back in 2018. So, you know, this is someone that, you know, is durable, but on paper, you know, he's not a world level fighter. So it should be a fight where Kholmatov does get back to winning ways, gets active again, and then after that, you know, you can look for Kholmatov to be in the big fights. But I'm looking forward to seeing Otabek. I have my questions about him. I have my thoughts. I have my concerns about him as a fighter. You know, he's one of these Uzbek fighters that had a long, extensive amateur career. He has knee problems, and he's been having knee problems since before the Raymond Ford fight. Because I remember seeing him at Warriors Gym in South Florida. He always had that brace on his knee. So I'm intrigued to see, you know, can he make the weight? You know, because he was a big fighter for featherweight. So can he still healthily make the weight? You know, how does he look? How is his mobility? Let me see. Is this fight scheduled for 130 or featherweight? Let's check to be sure. So this fight is scheduled to be at featherweight. So yeah, he's gonna have to make the featherweight limit, and we're gonna see, you know, what kind of wear and tear it is. Can he make the weight healthily? And if he can't make the weight healthily, you know, then I think he's got to explore a move to 130. But listen, either way you cut it up, slice it, and dice it, I hope, it is my hope and it is my optimistic thought process that I hope Kholmatov can healthily make the featherweight division, because I think he'd be a very interesting fight for a lot of guys in this weight class. I think he'd be a very interesting fight for Bruce Carrington, for Elijah Pierce, for Louis Neri, who has a common opponent with this guy that he's fighting, for Kaiosuke Matsumoto, for, you know, Angelo Leo in the future. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting opponents for him. Kholmatov, when he's at his best, and truth be told, like, look, I'm gonna tell you guys this, right? I thought Kholmatov was very good against Raymond Ford. I thought he was a good, sound, technical fighter that night. But it wasn't completely the Otabek that I saw in the gym, or the one that I was hyping up in my videos. He was more of a boxer puncher when I saw him in the gym. When he fought with Joel Diaz, because that was his first fight with Joel Diaz, I saw him being more of a technical fighter, which, he was still winning, so it shows you how good he is. But I'm hoping that we can see Kholmatov, the boxer puncher, return a bit more in these upcoming fights, and hopefully that this time off did some good for him, because I want to see him in the big fights. He's a strong guy for the weight class, can box, is athletic, but he's like Otabek is like a lot of Uzbek fighters. I think he's more athletic than a lot of Uzbek fighters, but he is like a lot of Uzbek fighters so far as his tendencies are concerned. A lot of Uzbek fighters, very classy boxers from the outside, good at mid-range, but they can't fight to save their damn life on the inside, right? And so that was the case with Ergashev, that was the case with Madrimov, and it was the case with him when he fought Ford. Because if you go back and you watch the Raymond Ford fight, Raymond Ford had the most success with Otabek when he was actually in his chest, walking him back, fighting in the pocket, not boxing from range. That's why when I broke down that fight, my prediction was Kholmatov by UD, and he was on his way to getting a UD, but he blew out his knee, and Ford capitalized on it, and that's why he's not champion, and history played out how it played out. But Kholmatov has a great chance here, because if he beats this guy and gets back active, who knows? Maybe the WBA will order him to fight Mirko Cuello for the interim title or something like that, and I think that'd be a great fight for him. I think Kholmatov could beat Nick Ball too, if his knees hold up. That's gonna be the question in all these fights. Is can he make the weight, and can his knees hold up? Because he's huge for the weight class, and his knees are terrible because he's been boxing forever, right? So we'll see how it goes. But these are my preliminary thoughts. Otabek Kholmatov returns April the 5th in Kazakhstan on the next Johnny Beck undercard. Johnny Beck, who the hell is Johnny Beck fighting? Because they keep saying the Johnny Beck card. He's fighting some 14-0 guy who I'm not familiar with, some guy from France. So I got to do some homework on this guy that Johnny Beck's fighting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the return of Bruce Lee back to the featherweight division? And if he passes this test against this Filipino and gets back in the win column, what's a fight you'd like to see him in the featherweight division? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.